Yes, it is Way Up with Angela Yee. I'm Angela Yee, and Jasmine Brand is here.
Yes. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning. Let's see if we have any Jasmine Brand exclusives today.
You never know.
All right, well, let's start it off with Jada Pinkett Smith. You know she has her book coming out, and Worthy. And one thing that she did was an exclusive sit-down with Hoda Kotb. It's going to air Friday night on NBC. And amongst the things that she talked about, she discusses that her and Will Smith were officially split since 2016. Here is what Hoda asked her.
The thing that surprised me the most was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
Right.
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
Yes.
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
And, you know, Will Smith did reveal previously that they had an open marriage because they believed their union shouldn't feel like a prison. So he had already said that. And
Right.
he also said in GQ last year, I don't suggest our road for anybody. I don't suggest this road for anybody. But the experiences, that the freedoms that we've given one another and the unconditional support to me is the highest definition of love.
Okay.
So that's his experience. Now, Jada Pinkett Smith also talked about why their relationship was fractured.
Why did the relationship fracture?
That's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
She really didn't. I didn't get a clear answer, which is fine. But
Right, and maybe in her book, which by the way comes out on Tuesday on the 17th, we'll learn more. But I also feel like that interview that yours truly did with August Alsina, I don't know if they ever would have revealed this much, right, if that hadn't happened.
so, Angela, are you saying that maybe they were motivated by what August Alsina said during the interview with you?
I don't think they had plans to tell
ever
as much.
talk about?
Well, I don't know if they did or not, but I do know initially, remember, her spokesperson denied it.
Yes.
When August Alsina did the interview and people were calling him a liar. And I also know that August did give her a heads up
Okay.
that he was going to actually do the interview, and he even sent her the clip ahead of time so she could see what he said.
Do you think that was your biggest interview, August Alsina, or no?
I think it was, yeah, that was a big story that year. And and you got to think that interview was during a pandemic when nobody was doing things together in person. Everything was virtual.
Yeah.
And he actually flew to New York for us to do a sit down because he put out a project. That's really what it was about.
Right.
And so that was a small part of the interview, a really small part
But
of
it was big, but it was small. But
and
it
I
was
knew
big.
it, and I was wondering before I came out if he was going to take that part out. Is this going to be edited? Will he change his mind? And, you know, it took like a week for that interview to come out after we did it. And he sent me the clip also that he sent to her. So I was like, okay, I guess it is going to be in here. And
Right.
then I'll never forget, I was at my friend Dahlia's restaurant, Tilly's, and
Yeah.
the interview came out while I was there waiting to pick up my food. And it was just,
Listen, I remember you calling me after the interview, and I was saying, you were telling me about it. I said, there's no way this is ever going to air. They're never going to let this air. You were like, I don't know, Jazz. I'm like, no, Angela, this is not going to come out ever.
his one thing he said to me before the interview was, Angela, I don't want to dwell on this too long. So, you know, if you want to ask me about it, because he did a song about it. They were on red carpets together.
Yeah.
So it felt kind of obvious, but it had never been said.
Right.
All right. Now, Jada also talked about keeping her promise with Will Smith. They just don't want to get divorced.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
Okay.
They live separately. Well, there you have it.
Is that marriage? Yeah, marriage is whatever you define it, right?
Well, legally, I
Yeah.
think is a different definition than emotionally, you
Yeah.
know? So there's people who are married legally and have been married and haven't been together in years, sometimes decades, but haven't gotten divorced officially.
Okay.
So it's a difficult thing. All right, well, that is your Yeetie. And when we come back, we have About Last Night. And I'm excited for this one, for us to talk about what we did last night. We actually went to a Broadway play.
Yes.
And it was really good, and it was your first one. So you guys got to listen, because if you're in New York or you're coming here and you want to go to a play, we have a great suggestion for you that we really enjoyed. And we'll discuss it in About Last Night. It's Way Up with Angela Yee.